make that today's topic, I looked at the meaning of two of the key words from the Collins Dictionary. Relevance means having a direct bearing on the matter in hand. And training means the process of bringing a person to an agreed standard of proficiency. It is without saying that you can train people for skills, but not attitude. If you have a bad attitude, you can be the best and most brilliant person in the world, but your attitude will give you away, as we say it in Twi. Suban etisenyinseng, utume fancy. Simply meaning, character is like pregnancy. You cannot hide it for long. Again, it is not enough to gain knowledge when it cannot be applied correctly. Knowledge applied correctly is wisdom. Are women relevant in maritime education? The UN 2030 Agenda on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly Goal 5, states to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. This year's International Day for Women in Maritime, held on 18th May 2023 on the theme, Mobilizing Network for Gender Equality. The IMO Secretary General then described gender equality as a prerequisite for a thriving and resilient maritime industry that will bring with it, he said, innovation, creativity, and sustained growth. The maritime industry is a conservative and massively male-dominated. According to the Baltic International Maritime Council, BIMCO, and the International Chamber of Shipping ICS Seafarers Workforce Report, which acting VC also alluded to, it reports that we have about 1.89 million seafarers serving the world merchant fleet, operating 74,000 vessels around the globe, with just an estimated 24,059 being women, representing just 1.2% of the total STCW certified global workforce. And this report was issued in July 2021. Most of these women are, however, on passenger vessels. Few on the big ones like the FPSOs, the rigs, the construction vessels, tankers, bulk carriers. When we take other sectors, we can ask the critical question of how many women are in marine survey, diving, operational port equipments, ship chandling, crewing, logistics, fishing, ship management, sea tourism, and many others. Statistics in this regard are hard to find and comprehensive enough. We know that a lot has been achieved in the past about 8 years with involvement of IMO and others in recent times in having deliberate efforts to promote women in technical roles and decision-making bodies. Why women empowerment, inclusion, and diversity? If you're of the opinion that women empowerment just started today, you just go and ask the daughters of Zelophehad, who changed the course of history on the law of inheritance over 2,000 years ago in the time of Moses. Their father had only 5 daughters and no son. And by Jewish law, these women were not entitled to a share of the land inheritance. The 5 ladies went to Moses and said, why should we be denying our father's inheritance just because we are women? Moses didn't have an answer. He had to go to God for an answer. And God unequivocally stated that supporting the women's demand, and even by promulgating a new and permanent law to secure inheritance for any daughters in such circumstances for the future. You can refer to Numbers 27, 1-5. So these women changed the course of history for me and every woman here present. Please clap for them. There is ample evidence that investing in women is the most effective way to lift communities, companies, and even countries. Countries with more gender equality have better economic growth. Companies with more women leaders perform better. See the bottom line article, Corporate Performance and Women Representation on Boards. Peace agreements that include women are more durable. Parliaments with more women enact more legislation on key social issues such as health, education, anti-discrimination, and child support. The evidence is clear. Equality for women means progress for all. And this is according to an IMO website article on women in maritime. I didn't read that. So why do we have few women in maritime education and training? Shipping is not visible in our schools. Most people in the maritime industry either got into it because of family or friends, or purely by accident. I believe I'm a clear example of those who found our place in the maritime world by divine intervention. Born and raised in Edukroma, I had never seen sea before, nor heard anything about maritime. But by divine intervention, someday I saw an advert in the newspaper advertising for a company looking for management trainees, and as part of that training, those people were supposed to attend the regional maritime university. And that is how I found myself here. And so it is important that we make noise about the maritime industry. And that should start right from when the kids are young. Our socio-cultural mindset has somewhat defined certain courses to be for men. I did a random check, BC, by your permission, on the RMB website, and clicked on departments and saw the display of pictures for certain courses. Nautical science and engineering, pictures of gentlemen only. Department of Business Studies, pictures of two ladies and a gentleman. Does that mean engineering is for men and business studies is for women? Question. The few women who venture into these areas are branded with name calling and tagging. It is always disheartening to walk into the nautical science or engineering lecture rooms and see between 2 to 5 ladies only in class. The hostility of the environment deter women from venturing into male-dominated fields. People aspire to become what they see. So if young women cannot see older women in leadership positions and in technical roles, they cannot do so. I recently read an article in Tradewinds dated 25th September 2023. A female cadet applied to 50 companies looking for cadetship on board a vessel. Most of these companies refused her. And most of the calls she made to follow up on her application, some of the companies asked her, "Are you making the inquiry for your boyfriend?" The writer's message to the companies that rejected her is this: you have rejected a wonderful, very talented, very eager person who is on her way to the top. Again, she says, once we have put down the first barrier, and we have more women in shipping ashore and at sea, we will see more women in leadership positions. That's more role models. It will become easier. We pay tribute to women who have dared and have risen above the odds against them to achieve greater heights in maritime affairs. Just to mention a few, Captain Beatrice Womo, who's the first woman captain of the Black Star Line, Captain Hannah Abba Agri, Captain Georgina Jopa, she's just up there, Captain Catherine Hazel, Miss Khadija Amwa, the first Ghanaian woman to lead an oil and gas exploration and production company, that is Aka Energy CEO. Mrs. Azara Prempre, the Chief of Staff of the International Maritime Organization. We have Ms. Sandro Poku, currently the Director of Port Tema, Ms. Beluta Bismarck, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, and we have many more assembled here today, right in front of me, WISTA members, who have risen to positions hitherto reserved for men. Let's give these women a clap. Facilities which promote the survival of women in harsh working conditions offshore, on board ships, have not changed much. More sea time, less interface with shore. Some vessels have no or poor internet connectivity to facilitate communication. And even if you're on a Ghanaian vessel, that is even worse. You also be hungry. Fewer female cabins, bullying and harassment. The working environment in most of our offices onshore as well does not promote family work-life balance. Most companies in Europe and other places are looking at ways to bring home close to the office by providing facilities which help facilitate workflow no matter where you are. Providing flexible working conditions like working from home and equipping staff to do this efficiently with the needed tools. Technology is being employed to make life flexible. Providing flexible working hours when juggling between maternity and work. Men outnumber women at managerial levels and in boardrooms. Women leaders switch jobs at the highest rate than men in leadership positions. There are simply few women in senior positions. It's one thing attracting the women to the maritime industry, it's another thing retaining them, especially getting to the top. It's rough out there and it can be lonely at the top. Inadequate policies to address women issues. Quota for board representation. The Petroleum Commission of Ghana, for instance, reserves one board member position for a woman. Although inadequate, it is a starting point for others to follow. Norway provides 40% of quota for women representation on boards and enforces it. Inadequate funding and scholarship deliberately reserved for women to pursue career progression and development in maritime education. And we should clap for RMU for the initiative of instituting the scholarship scheme. And as VC said, being reserved for women, and so we encourage the women to apply for them. The IMO is doing well in this regard as well by giving women scholarships to study with the Galilee Institute and others. WISTA, for instance, in collaboration with the Institute of Charter Shipbrokers, provides scholarships for 2 ladies to study the foundation diploma courses. And as we said, we need more women to pursue courses in technical areas like marine engineering and nautical sciences. And we need to make funding available and to support technical subjects in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM courses for women in our schools. This should start at the basic level and kill the phobia for these subjects among ladies. Our maritime agencies and organizations have recently only employed a few of our graduates, and I don't understand why. It used to be the case that when you walk into the port or the Maritime Authority or the Shippers Authority, you see more of RMU graduates there. These days, that's not the case. Most of the employment are going to other universities where these people here have studied maritime courses, are well equipped and only need practical training at the workplaces. Provost, you would need to find out, VC, why our maritime agencies are not employing our graduates. Especially to make it a policy also to have a quota for women. Recently, WISTA visited the director of Port of Tema, and one of her priorities is to have female pilots employed at the port. Great initiative, yet the challenge is that the women are not even available to be employed in that field. They are few and already taken. Even where the will is, the human capital is also unavailable. These are laudable ideas and should be replicated to include other organizations where technical areas, there will be a deliberate effort to look out for women who have studied in these fields. We need more women to be employed by our maritime organizations and agencies, and not simply because they are women, but because they qualify for these positions and will excel if given the chance. MPS has 11 women operating movable cranes for stacking containers at Terminal 3. has changed over the years, and we have a long way to go to bridge the gap. There is still sexual harassment and discrimination. Some colleagues of mine once told me operations cannot wait for women in maternity wards. And I said to them, without the maternity wards, we will not be alive today. What I say to every woman being sexually harassed for a job is to tell that man that in 15 years, your daughter will be looking for a job and I will be on your seat. People forget that they won't be in their positions forever, that age comes so quickly. Threat of sea crimes and attacks which put women in much more vulnerable positions, such as maritime piracy, are still there as a threat. At one point or another, a woman ought to take hard decisions with regards to family and work, especially for those going on board vessels, which terminates their career abruptly. Most women have given up their dreams because of lack of support or because they had to make hard choices to sacrifice for their families. We are not in competition with men, but we have capabilities that can be nurtured and used. In certain jurisdictions, there is disparity in salaries for same job for women and men, a disincentive for women to venture into maritime careers. Women in maritime are not celebrated, also because we are too silent about our own industry. Recognition is key. It gives others the courage that some have done it and they too could do it. Funding for women-led businesses needs to be looked at with concerted policy to back it. Prospects. But I believe we have narrowed our definition of maritime with key areas in the maritime sector being ignored. Even our curricula is tailored in a particular direction. Have we looked at the maritime industry holistically? Engineering, merchant mariners, navigators, logistics, and port and shipping and others are not enough. We need to introduce more maritime courses which are problem-solving and industry-focused to meet up with current trends. What about areas where women are doing well? According to the National Integrated Maritime Strategy, the fisheries sector contributes about 1 billion in revenue each year and accounts for at least 5% of Ghana's agricultural gross domestic product, a contribution that is likely to increase if managed better. Ghana for the past 13 years has been actively involved in exploration and subsequently production of oil. And many of our neighboring countries are into the same. The world is moving towards renewable energy. What about development in maritime tourism, biotechnology, admiralty law, marine insurance, maritime economics, technology-based courses, freight forwarding, others? What about linkages between academia and industry with regards to research and development, providing industry-based solutions? We must focus on innovation and how that can help in respect of integration of the entire maritime supply chain development. We cannot award degrees and diplomas without considering vocational maritime certification, of which thousands of our women are concentrated. We have often ignored the contribution of women who trade, bringing about 30 full container loads every month, affecting lives and feeding so many mouths. Those women sitting on trucks going to Niger and Burkina Faso to bring onions and tomatoes. The fishmonger who has been plying her trade for years. They all need education and training and value addition to their businesses. We must, as a maritime institution, provide courses in entrepreneurship, focusing on adding value to businesses. We need to identify the knowledge and skills that will be required for the future and fill the gap. We need education that brings creative problem-solving skills with good aptitude for technology. The late Lee Queen of Singapore said, "The development of maritime Singapore is about anticipating the future, adapting to change, creating and seizing opportunities, and pursuit for excellence." Well-trained, skilled, and educated human resources are the driving force of the development of an economy. And dynamic and sustainable development is not possible without skilled workforce, and women cannot be excluded from that. We need to educate policymakers to gain understanding in maritime business. They have not understood the fact that for whosoever commands the sea commands the trade. Whoever commands the trade of the world commands the riches of the world, and consequently the world itself, wrote English adventurer Sir Walter Raleigh in 1829. Mahan, a naval strategist and the author of The Influence of Sea Power Upon History, argued that national prosperity and power depended on control of the world's sea lanes. Whoever rules the waves rules the world. If policy makers understood the maritime world and what it holds, they will not toy with our industry, but look at it with forward-looking policies that will enhance it, which also involves women participation. The world is moving towards digital data and information literacy. Investment in modern technological equipment and learning tools is the way forward for us and also for women. We need to attract and support women at every level of their career. Learning is a lifelong experience and should go hand in hand with personal growth. Mentorship is key, and women associations such as Wista, Wima, Willart, and others are to lead in that direction. Women issues can be understood by women. We must mentor our women on clearly defining long-term careers, career prospects. They need encouragement from us. Companies like Havnia, who have partnered with the Regional Maritime University to employ our seafarers and absorb women, need commendation. We must look for more of such opportunities. There is a need to improve diversity, equality, and inclusion in employment onshore and offshore, especially in technical areas. Creating more flexibility in maritime workplaces is key and the way forward with good working conditions and, of course, good salaries. We must develop practices of work-family life balance and provide facilities which makes the lives of women easier to work with and have the peace of mind to do so. An area we often ignore to provide is mental health support and provide advice on medical and the physical well-being of women and of course the men as well. Sometimes things become too overwhelming and unbearable. The songwriter said, "Lean on me when you are not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll give you a shoulder to carry on." We need to lean on each other. We need to trust each other, and we need to hold each other's hands. That is the way forward. We are not here to fight each other, but we are here to be united to work to push the common goal of women in maritime education and training. Knowledge is not a stagnant pool of water, but a flowing river which needs to remain current and updated. And this is a quote by my colleague FICS Puni in Singapore. Continuous professional development cannot be ignored. We invest very little in this regard. We must develop holistically, both our very person and work skills all the time. Learning is a lifelong experience. Henry Ford said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. We must be willing to take advantage of the few opportunities we get and make good use of them. Of course, we need a push from the men. Clap for the men. Support and cheer us on. We can do it, but we can do it better with your help. You cannot make an omelette without breaking eggs. Let us speak up to make shipping visible and attractive by telling others about it. Women should support each other. Michelle Obama, in her recent book, The Light We Carry, said, "You can have it all, but not at the same time." Patience, endurance, perseverance are key to success. Unfortunately, the young people don't have that these days. They want everything quick. Quick Instagram, quick this, quick that. But life is a lifelong journey, and patience is key. Keep your focus and stay focused. I will end with a quote by Margaret Thatcher. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. On that note, I thank you for being attentive.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us make some noise for the industry by giving a very big hand clap. Make more noise for the industry. If you want something done, you got to ask her. So make noise for the woman. Thank you. That was brilliant. But do I really need to ask her before it is done? Maybe myself I can do it. Anyway, I must ask her because we must lay on each other's shoulder. Thank you, Madam Keynote Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this program is live on YouTube, so you can communicate with your colleagues out there that if they can't come, they can just use their mobile phone. Go to YouTube and you will see everything there live. Before going further, we'd like to make some recognition of some of our guests. We are pleased to recognize the president, the vice president of Wista, Rose Vera. Is she here? Rosie? That's the vice president of Wista, Ghana. We are also pleased to recognize the second vice president of Wista, Madam Gifty. Are you here? I Wista Ghana for you. We are also pleased to recognize the Secretary General of Ghana Merchant Navy Officers, Captain Banko. We are also pleased to recognize Maxline, from Maxline, who is here with us, Eugenia Owusu. It is also our pleasure to recognize the Vice President for CILT Ghana, Eurofilm Aseri. Madam Aseri. Okay, Mr. Aseri. Yeah, okay. We are also pleased to recognize from Ghana Shippers Authority, the Human Resource Director, Batima Muna Utui. We are also pleased to recognize from the Gulf of Guinea the Research Manager Juliet Afro-Obeng. It is our pleasure as well to recognize the Principal Manager for Ghana Shipping Authority, Francisa Amanko. Madam Amanko, we are also pleased to recognize the Head of Human Resource Ghana Shipping Authority again, Bernice L. Nanto. Bernice. Sorry for my bad pronunciation, but I'm not getting it right. After names, they can be pronounced any kind of way. But when it is you, you say yes, okay. We are also pleased, finally, to recognize the manager for CILT, Mr. Jackson Lager. Thank you. And I will also be happy to recognize some staff from the Regional Maritime University, beginning with a good old brother from the Department of Transport, Mr. Jikono. Please, can we see him? I know most of you know him from here. And then we have Madam Patient, who is one of our officer assisting University Registrar for Human Resource. Patient. And from the Office of Procurement, we have the Assistant Procurement Officer, Madam Mata, please. Nice. And we have the HOD for the Transport Department, Mr. Abrabrasis Afre. Where is he? He's also. Okay, he can see us there. Okay, nice meeting, but we can see you in here. Okay, we continue with our program. As we continue the program, we will finally want to recognize our former dean for the Faculty of Maritime Studies, who is still a lecturer, senior lecturer, a member of our committee, Madam Felice Akumasi, my best friend. Those from GMA, I guess you know her very well. Okay. Please, if I don't recognize you and me, I have not received the information. I pray that the information comes for your recognition. Thank you. At this stage, ladies and gentlemen, before we move forward, let me just share with you that it is true, as the guest speaker said, I will just add this. If you educate a woman according to our African saying, they say you educate a nation. But if you educate just a man, they say you are educating just a household. Well, it is debatable. We are not in a debate, but that is the philosophy of. And that is why if you want it done, you have to ask the woman for it to be done. So please, let us continue our discussion. We will now, at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, once again call on Dr. Mrs. Amin Priscilla Abra Asimman to introduce our panelists.
We have two wonderful women as our panelists. One of our panelists has a 40-year experience in the maritime industry, including roles in management, consultancy, academia, international civil service, and many more. She was part of the pioneering class of African women at sea and went on to become the first African woman to qualify as Master Mariner, for example, Captain of Merchant Navy ship. She was a deck officer on ocean-going vessel, Black Star Line, for 14 years, and she was a senior lecturer here at RNU for 9 years. She was an expert and training advisor to the Bangladesh government on seafarers training and employment for 2 years. She was the regional coordinator for West and Central Africa, UN Maritime Agency, the International Maritime Organization for 6 years. She was the project director support the promotion of employment in the maritime industry, United Nations Development Program for 6 years. She is currently a consultant on maritime safety and security. Let us welcome Captain Georgina Joe. Our second panelist is an alumni of both the Regional Maritime and the World Maritime Universities. She graduated in 2007 and 2013 respectively. She currently works at the Ghana Maritime Authority, and she is passionate about the Go to Sea campaign by the authority, which seeks to introduce maritime careers as an alternative vocation to second cycle institutions and the opportunities presented by a maritime career. She is the president of Women in Maritime Africa, WIMA, Ghana chapter, and she is striving through this association to establish mentorship programs which connect established women in maritime leadership roles with girls and young women to provide guidance and support. Let us welcome Madam Magdalene Ofori. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. Before we ask the panelists to make a little brief statement, we'll ask the acting vice chancellor and the provost to please join us in the audience. And at this stage, we introduce to you our moderator for the day. He is not a stranger, but he's someone that we refer to as the microphone-less speaker. Today we plead with him to use the microphone. He is in the person of one who has a bachelor degree, a master degree, and a doctorate degree in education. He is currently the coordinator at the Regional Maritime University for Students Affairs. He is Dr. You see, you don't even wait for me to call his name. Okay, Dr. Buffett Duncan, please take your seat. With him taking a seat, we now ask our panelists if they have anything to say, to please briefly say whatever they wish to say before we get into further discussion and turn the microphone over to the moderator.
Good evening, everyone. It is quite thrilling to be here tonight and commenting on this very relevant topic that is on the hearts of, if not all organizations, almost all organizations, companies, individuals in the maritime sector and also in the maritime space. And I'd also like to commend the Regional Maritime University and congratulate them for their 65th anniversary and 40 years as regionalization. Coincidentally, this year is 20 years that I enrolled in this university as a freshman student in 2003. And I must say that when I entered, I didn't know what I was getting into, but it has been a remarkable journey so far. I have enjoyed myself immensely, and now I'm sitting on this stage with captains and president of WESTA going to have this discussion. So yes, that is it from me.
Hello.
So basically, I speak slowly and I write a lot when I speak because I just want things to be done. Yeah. For the relevance of our topic about women in the industry, I'm just about normally I'm just saying before being grown up in the same community as boys and girls. We grew up in the same community as us, young men and young women. We grew up with cousins, and all of them cousins who are from different backgrounds. We all grew up, and most of us in Ghana went to public schools. So at the end of the day, there's not much difference in the intelligence and capacity of a woman or a young girl or a female, probably a female and a male, and especially in our community Ghana here, we've always given relatively equal opportunities to girls going to school and boys going to school. It's just that the society, and not only Ghana, the general society of the whole world have deliberately, instead of having their own, the men being responsible, not nothing negative, and to be seen to be responsible, just tell all the
equally intelligent, and we have the strength to do what they do. It's just because we always think of ourselves as women, or we think of ourselves as weaker because someone over the years, throughout the ages, has just labeled us that. And for this moment here, young ladies in this profession, we will just try to discuss and make you aware that you are equally strong, capable, intelligent to do exactly what your colleagues whom you started class 1 with, whom you played in the house with, your cousins who were boys, you even fought them and beat them up. Then they grow up and you think that they are better than you. I just can't understand that one. So if you have that, then you know that they are no different from you. You can do it. And that's the discussions we'll be having today. Thank you.
Okay, the keynote speaker would like to. You already said a lot. Okay. Thank you, Captain Joppa, for your comments. This session should be for 40 minutes. Am I correct with that? Okay. My maritime lady, please come closer to me. She will use that mic for the benefit of the audience. This is supposed to be an interactive session. You've listened. I hope you wrote a few questions down. You don't only have to ask questions, you can also make comments on some pressing issues or any issues related to the topic. The keynote speaker mentioned, and I would like to reiterate it for our staff. My God. All right. All right. And that is for our website. She mentioned that we should change our pictures. Yes, I will explain. She mentioned only one picture with male and female. So when I say change, I mean to incorporate or to show females in maritime education and training and not only men. Am I communicating? Okay, now let's adapt. Let us adapt. I will not ask you to clap, but when I say women or women, you say women or substance. Can we try it? Yes. If somebody made an interesting point to motivate that person, you just say, I would just say, women or women, and you say, women or women? Okay, we're getting there. Women seafarers, this is for the panel. Women seafarers face a series of gender-related challenges whilst working in a male-dominated maritime industry. Madam Guest Speaker, could you go a bit into detail about these gender-related challenges? You touched on the maternity side a bit, but you just alluded to it. Could you say more?
I've been privileged to work and go on board very big vessels like seismic vessels. And it is important to note that working offshore is a very harsh environment for everybody, not only just women. And so having conditions that are not favorable worsens working in a harsh environment. Up to date, most cabins are shared, and we have fewer cabins allocated for just women. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there's this perception that women have peculiar challenges, and so they will go off, get on maternity. I mean, those offshore is a little bit easier because they go 28 days on, 28 days off. So it makes life a bit easy. But when you get to the long hauls, in trading vessels, it becomes more challenging because you're spending more time at sea than spending time at home. And if you have little children, or you were just married, or, you have teenagers at home, you need time to nurture them, to grow with them, and you cannot have that luxury of staying on board vessels for too long. And so it becomes a decision that a woman has to make between family and work. Would you want to progress? And the more you stay on board, the more you progress. And so you realize that people would start very well whilst they are married, and once they get married and family sets in, it means they have to give up their career and come and take care of the kids. Relatively, when it comes to taking care of children in the home, most of the time it's the woman who does that, more often than not. And so you would have to give up your career and come and take care of the children. And there's also this discrimination on board vessels, sadly because you're a woman, and usually there are not many of you out there. So even to get your peers to interact with becomes a challenge. And so you realize that you're in the midst of men, and the teasing, the harassment, and all of that. People are on board vessels only seeing sea walls, and there's one female on board. What do you think? It's a lot of harassment. And there can be a lot of challenges with that as well. But that notwithstanding, most females have prevailed in these harsh environments, have risen beyond the challenges, and have gone far way ahead to progress in their careers. And I have witnesses just at the table. And so that is interesting. During COVID time, you realize that vessels were having challenges docking on port and ports. And so the sea time even got extended for most seafarers who were stranded and were not getting the chance to even get home. These worsened some of the problems and challenges that these women were facing on board the vessels. And since Captain is here and she's being a sailor, I'll give her the mic to tell her some experiences probably she's gone through and how she managed to get out of that.
I've always said the most gentlemen you could ever have are sea officers. They are real gentlemen. It's the attitude people have. You have similar than ashore. So many people jobs. We have about 85% of jobs ashore. That harasses young ladies, women. Now what will happen on the ship? Your colleagues on the ship, if will always look at you as a colleague. You may get one or two people who will probably see you as a lady. And when you put them right and make sure that you know exactly what you are supposed to do, and you are there because of this, and this is your position that you are, I bet you that's the experience I've always told everybody. Nobody actually for once even harassed me or told me that, oh, no, you are, oh, fine girl, something like that. But nobody even knocked on my door once. And I tell people that. And it's just because of your own personal attitude towards them. When you get to a male-dominated job, you go there with your position, not your sex. You go there as that is the level I am. That is it. You don't go there as an individual, as a person. And that is all for almost every job. I can tell young people all the time. If I'm on the ship, I'm a chief officer, that's it. I relate to my colleagues as a chief officer. Nothing more, nothing less. And they respect you for that. And again, most oftentimes with most jobs chosen another path, but it's in the same industry. And that's how I want people to have that attitude. So that if you go to sea, and even you get to second rank, third officer, fourth officer, chief mate, engineer, so, you can always plan your life saying that, okay, I want to be a maritime lawyer. You understand the maritime issues more and be able to appreciate and apply it. I want to be a maritime teacher, lecturer in the university. Those who have gone to sea probably will be able to. I want to be in the port. I have gone to sea for 2 years. Even if you've done that for only 2 years, even if you've done that for only 2 years, you'll be able to understand what jobs has to be done. So going to sea does not necessarily have to be your life forever. You can just use it as a conduit, but it is a good job. It is a very, very good job. I always tell people, I don't know why, but me, I love, even when I pass from Nubwa, just Sakumono from Tema, coming to my team, I just love the sea. Me, I'm from a coastal town. I'm an Zuma. I lived in Takrady, coastal town. Our house was just opposite the sea. There was only a road, so I grew up that way. And so I love the sea. But I had not even gone to the ship before I came to Nottingham College. So it is more of being encouraged and telling yourself that you can do it. You can do it. It's not difficult. For me, I always tell people it's not difficult because probably I've also not done any job before. If you worked in the office as a secretary, or you worked as a teacher, or you went out there before you go to sea, probably you see the difference. But from secondary school straight to Nottingham College, then to the sea, it's more like being a boarding school. You went to a boarding school, then you get to a senior boarding school, then you go to a senior boarding school where you are being paid. This is what it is. You just you go to a bigger boarding school where you are being paid as well and being taken care of what you do. You are on the training and learning. For me, that's the attitude I had, and I'm good. And it's like saying, when you were in school, you have a lot of those of us who went to co-institutions. You had it's about 1/3. We used to have about 1/3 women and probably 2/3 young boys. We were the girls and they were that's it. So the same attitude, you go to the ship and they had that. I was the only girl in my science class when I was in A-level. So throughout my A-level school, I was the only girl in my class. So if I go to the ship and there are 2 girls there, then it's even a bonus. So you didn't feel it. I always tell people that probably I'm very unique, but that is how it happened to me.
Yes.
So I didn't feel it. I do that. I've always told people, shape work is being in a boarding school and being someone pay you, giving you salary, but it's a good job. You start well with good salary, and therefore it makes you a woman very, very, very independent. For me, the best thing I've always said, it's a good job with good salary. It makes me independent enough to dictate what I want in life.
Women or women? Thank you, Captain Jopa and Madam Oheni Asin. Okay, I pass today. We are coming to you, audience, with a question. I'm kicking the ball for you. Madam Ofori Adai, this is for you. From the keynote speaker's address, I was able to deduce that the success of women will depict on leveraging networks, and that's where you are. You are president of WISTA Ghana chapter, or Women Ghana chapter. Okay, can you highlight the importance of leveraging networks of people and organizations when overcoming barriers to women's participation?
Right. Thank you very much. So I would like to say that
for women participation in the maritime industry, it has always been low, and the industry has been characterized by male dominance. We all know this. I would use an example that I experienced last year when I went for a meeting in Abuja. We were at a meeting organized for women, and there were two ladies there, sharply dressed in their uniforms, and they were seafarers. They had their stripes and everything, but I didn't really pay attention to their stripes. I saw them in their uniforms. And during the lunch break, I walked up to one of them and I said, "Oh, hi." I introduced myself and I proceeded to ask her how life on board was as an officer of the watch. And she said, "Oh, I'm a master." And that was a very embarrassing moment for me. I didn't tell her there and then, but when I got back home, I sent her an email and I told her she was making all women proud and everything. But what I'm trying to say is this lady has an organization in her country, a welfare organization, that brings seafarers together. They share their welfare experiences, be it family, emotional, whatever experiences that they have on board. And then they link them with women who are already established in the maritime industry and also seafarers, so that they also share their experiences, because these women have walked the path before. When they advise, they have been there before, so they know what they are talking about. So what I'm trying to say is, when women offer these networking opportunities, it is not just for themselves, but it's for also the other ladies, so that they'll be able to have a connection. It's always good to see people who look like you in certain positions that you can relate with. So if there are networking opportunities, if there are forums like this where you can bring all the ladies together, and then they see maybe Captain Gina, who has been there before, they see the WISTA president, who has a very tall portfolio of all the institutions she's gone to, and she is a lecturer, then it makes them know that they can also do it.
Thank you so much, Madam Furi. Thank you very much. Buttressing the keynote speaker's assertion that investing in women is the most effective way to lift communities, companies. My emphasis here is even countries. I would like to bring to your attention evidence. Number one, Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, former Vice President of Tanzania and a constitutionally mandated successor of the late President John Magufuli after he died in early March 2021, and the first female president of Tanzania, has had unprecedented successes in 5 areas: business enabling environment, COVID-19 response, freedom of speech, the civil society and media, regional leadership, 5, treatment of political opposition. I think most of you have heard that she has made outstanding progress in that. You can now freely express yourself in Tanzania, owing to a woman. Of course, Africa's first, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Republic of Liberia, Africa's first female president, did the following successfully. Used her influence to have Liberia's huge debt waived through mutual understanding with the IMO and other friendly governments, restored Liberia to the Committee of Nations through effective foreign policy, mobilized the cleaning of Monrovia and its environs through a Clean Monrovia campaign. And to this day, I was just there. Every Saturday in Monrovia, banks, offices are closed for people to clean. She established a chamber of commerce which had a mandate to streamline the business industry in Liberia, thereby protecting Liberian-owned businesses and ensuring that certain type of businesses were to be left solely to Liberians and not foreigners. She amended the Liberia Firestone Agreement by highlighting the interest of the Liberians that own the land and the general Firestone community. Over to the audience. Don't be dead. Wake up. Questions, comments. My maritime lady, please carry the mic around to those who would like to participate. Now you talk about participation of women. You see,
Mr. Moderator,
yes, please.
with what you have just said, it
Yeah.
means that women are also capable, we are highly competent, we are also hardworking, just like our male counterparts.
Exactly.
But what holds us back is not our capabilities, but the lack of opportunities
Opportunities.
available, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so touching on leveraging on networking. At Western Ghana, we believe in networking of women. When we talk of networking, you agree with me that when a woman is being prosecuted at the workplace, it's not necessarily men who prosecute her, but most of you find other women in there supporting that. When a woman rises to a position, when you are married, you are safe. But once you're a single woman like myself, you are branded as having slept your way through. So when you come to Western Ghana, we believe in empowering women, whether married or single, giving everybody equal opportunity. Telling the sister that you are my sister. I would love to be where you are if you are there now. So I will support you once you are there. So that when it comes to my turn, nothing will, you will not use the same yardstick to hinder me. So when you come to this country, we believe in women supporting women. When a woman is put out there to lead, we encourage ourselves to support the woman, not to bring the woman down. Not to use their femininity as a demeaning factor against her, especially if she's a single woman, as is done in the public day. So, at Western Ghana, we want to bring all women in the maritime industry together. We support everybody. Where somebody has a weakness, we help the person build on it, and when we also harness other people's strength for our equal growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very worthy comment. Thank you so much. There is a lady at the back raising her hand. Yes, kindly take the microphone to her. Yes, I see you, Honorable Jikono. We'll come to you. Ladies first. The mic, is it on? It's on now, okay. Okay, she's bringing another mic for you. Thank you so much. Introduce yourself. Are you a student of the university? Okay, your name, your program of study, and your ambition. What do you want to be in the future? Oh, sorry. Oh, women! Women of substance, go ahead.
Has been explored. It is quite expensive as compared to other fields of study. So it limits people from joining the maritime industry. Students are not moved because their parents don't have the capacity to support their education when it comes to maritime studies. So if something can be done about that aspect, it would actually open the room or open the door for more people to engage in maritime studies. Thank you.
Except any of the panelists would like to comment more on that. That is the access to scholarships, because our keynote speaker did amplify, reiterate the need to increase scholarships for women. But if there are other scholarships that are readily available at the moment that people can access, then you may comment on it. This is for undergraduate students. Any referral, any references? Anybody? But all right, you've been referred. My sister there, in her comment, you please try to network. My advice is to network with these women organizations, and you might find what you may be looking for. Yeah, I think because it's not just sitting there, not because you are a woman now, that they will take it and give it to you like that. You, like Captain Joba said, you have to strive for it, and you have to prove by your attitude. I think I'm communicating. All right, Honorable Jukunu. Mic for him, please.
Respect to all our leaders, especially those taking strides at various important places. My speech is not to denigrate the capacities of our women, but I will just plead that we all get through it. And I may actually want a one-on-one discussion on this topic. Anytime that female activism comes to play, a lot of things roll through my mind. Are we not losing focus and turn around and try? What do I mean by this? God created women and made them to be treated as baby girls. Right? Now these same women want to be where the men should be. And then after that, they cry that they are not giving attention or the baby girl treatment. Yes, I want to explain this. God created you to be adored and taken care of, treated as baby girls. But now we say we want to be where the men should be. Now, when we get to where the men should be, then we same people turn around to cry that we are not giving the needed attention, affection. Why am I saying this? The question I ask myself is that why shouldn't women be actually advocating that let the men go to work, and when a man gets a job, the man should be employed as two, which means that the salary for the man should be doubled, and one of that goes into, listen, and one of that salary is actually paid directly by the employer to the woman's account. Listen, why am I saying this? See, I think that we are running actually after a focus that is actually damaging our society. When we heard the moderator speak, he was actually alluding the fact that women contribute to the development of community. Which of us here staying here, sitting down here, will say that the mother has not contributed to his character? What that means is that we need women to be in the house and mold us. True of us. Yes. Look at this. Today, we are crying that we have our youth going wayward. What is actually contributing to this? Mother is not at home, father is not at home. And then we leave our children in the hands of maids who brings them up. Right? So, at the end of the day, the riches, the accolades that we follow, we will attain them. But then you come back to have your children wayward. Will you appreciate that?
Okay.
Will you appreciate it? So sometimes.
Yeah, this is an academic. Calm your emotions.
Yes, calm your emotions.
Thank you for your submission.
No, I want to finish.
Please give the mic to her. Maritime lady, she wants to react.
Thank you very much.
The world is changing. And
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, please let's listen to our sister.
Thank you. My name is Bernice Natwe. I'm from the Shippers Authority. I think I want to correct the premise upon which your assertion is founded is wrong. God created us as a complement to man. No, not as a baby girl, as a helpmeet. So we complement each other. So if you leave us at home, so you go and earn and bring me half, it won't work. Because that's not what God made it. God says she's your helpmate. I am not behind you. I am not in front of you. I complement you. And sometimes I think perhaps for the use of the wrong word, we don't strive to be equal to you because we cannot be equal. God made us your helpmates, so we seek equity, not equality. The two are not the same. We never want to be men because God created us women, and we are women. And then keynote speaker summarized it beautifully. God, in complimenting it, said, if you want it said, go to the man. Want it done, go to the woman. So the man gives the seed, we make sure it multiplies, and the home is beautiful. And you would say that even when your mother made your character, she wasn't at home. Probably she was selling a bolo, she was selling fish, but she worked. She worked. And so this is the modern time. We will work to compliment you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very well said. I must remind you that this is an academic exercise to try to control your emotions. There are some things sometimes they might get, somebody can actually relate to it and they want to speak up and they feel hurt. But please calm down. Yes, my sister will be mine.
Yes, I want to add up to what my senior mom said. From the premises is coming from, then it means a woman should not be educated. From the premises, you said we should be home. That we should take care of the children. Let me finish. Let me land. It means that we will not be educated. And as we are saying, wouldn't be here today talking about, please let me land. And apart from that, with the second submission you gave, that if organizations will give the men double salaries, double pay, truth be told, would you, the men, no, I'm saying that if you're saying this, then it means the men are supposed to go and strike for this. And then I'm asking you, all of you, would you come into agreement as men in this room to go and move forward for that move? This is what I want you to know. And then when you are saying, you just want to say, when a woman is being born, the woman should be in the house, do everything in the house without education, and at the end of the day, you will take care of us. No, I'm telling you, but from the premises you are coming from, it means that we should be home. Or after going to school, after going to school, after going to school, acquiring all the knowledge, it means we should let this go wasted. Or you're trying to say that we should put the education we've gotten from school into the children in the house. And truth be said, let me finish. All the women and all the men in this house can attest to the fact that, as my mother said, it's a shared responsibility. That's what God made it, that we are your helpmates. So even in bringing up the children, it's a responsibility for both the man and the woman to do so. It is not just a woman's responsibility to bring up children and for the man to go and bring money. Money without confirmation from the father and the mother, my
yes. This is a reaction. Thank you very much. Moderator, where is the master of ceremonies? Yes. Captain, please go ahead.
It's so nice, sitting here and just looking at all that we are saying and what we are doing. And before I even came here, before I knew he was going to say this, I have just looked through a whole lot of issues, and I picked it from not just the Bible, but I picked it from a well-written source. And what he said is, the female, I have written it down here, of most species is more fierce than the male. Throughout nature, including all the animals, it is the female species that is to be feared, because the female will go to any length to defend, protect, and provide for its dear and near ones. That is it.
And that, buttressing Captain Joppa, the issue is, if you give me double salary, who ensures that I spend it the way it should be spent?
Don't even mind him.
Now, most of us, whether we're Christian or not, I'm being realistic. The African men are polygamous, right?
Not only them.
Captain Joppa?
African men are polygamous, and all other men outside Africa have mistresses. So they do the same thing.
So, my senior brother told me when I was carrying my rice home, he said, make sure you carry it to your home, not the house. That implies that some men may not be sincere to judiciously distribute the money for its intended purpose. Yeah, okay. All right. I have this very emotional part. I would like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you to our panelists for being tolerant, for being educative.
Oh, have you finished?
You've enlightened us a lot. You still, yes, okay, my brother. This will be the last question or comment, please.
Hello. It's like there is a gargantuan hypocrisy concerning the topic. Yes, I'm getting provoked. Yes, I'm getting provoked. The guest speaker made an excellent submission. At the tail end of her submission, she said, if you want something said, ask the men. And something done should be the women. So if the women can get things done, why are we here? What really struck me was that she made mention of the socio-cultural setting of our society. And that is the crux of the matter. Infrastructurally, the institutions are there and open to the women. Those who there are getting excelled in the industry, we can mention them. The maritime industry, we have the women there who are doing well. Others shy away. What prompts them from taking the courses in the maritime industry? Certain families wouldn't allow their female to take certain professions. They dictate to them. After they have gone to secondary school and even at the tertiary level, they still submit to the colloquial nature of their parents dictating to them. So who is to be blamed? I believe that religion is also playing a role. The mushroom churches all over the place are misleading our children. They try to dictate that women, they have a certain areas where they must operate as professionals. And they accept this. And then they turn around and blame the men that they are the impediment. What is the message on the pulpits on every Sunday? What is the message in the mosque? You see, and the churches have, you see 60% of all the congregation being women. What message do they take home that impact on their future? I think that is where we should be tackling the problem. I believe that even in Ghana, all the opportunities are there. If others, there are role models they can see. If you go to the Port of Tema, we have the women there at the top management level. Accra did the same. Ghana Shippers Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, all over. So that actually is sets the stage for others to follow. So I believe that this socio-cultural setting, we have to zero on that area. Religiously, they are chiefs. You can be playing the role for maritime. If you get to parliament and then you advocate to make legislation to affect the maritime industry, you are more or less working for the maritime industry. You don't necessarily have to be on the vessel before you are doing something for the maritime industry. So I think we should broaden the discussion.
Yeah.
Then we'll get there.
Okay, your name, sir. Please, your name.
Ephraim Asari, Vice President, CIRT.
Yes, thank you very, very much. But I want to draw again before my dean comes in from the keynote speaker's address. She mentioned mentoring. It's important for those who know these values that these different organizations are perpetrating. You see, tradition and culture cannot be changed instantly. It has to be changed through forums like this, through enactment of laws and legislations, as you mentioned. And so, mentorship program, she stressed it, is very important. And then Madeline mentioned leveraging networks, sensitizing people. Leveraging is influencing to change, and then the change, you control it. So, Honorable Dean, then we close, Mr. MC.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to put it this way.
Yes, please.
I want to give a topical statement and justify it. That women should leave men out of their problems. Women should leave men out of their problems. My master's work was on comparative performance of girls and boys. From B2 to B4, they were performing almost equally. When we got to B6, boys were doing better in mathematics than girls. I followed it up to the parents. It showed that parents were engaging their girl children at home, doing cooking and others, as against that of boys. I became education officer. I was monitoring schools. Some schools, you will find out that women, lady teachers, who are even having difficulties with their pregnancies and being headed by women, are being refused permission to even go to hospital by women who themselves have had children. They have gone through labor. They know what it means. It took me and some other men to fight for these women to be released to go to hospitals. It got a point I was transferred from one circuit to the other because I was fronting for women to be allowed to have this kind of permission, to go for medical care, to attend to their children, and to have so many other things. You know, when a woman goes to cesarean section, 3 months maternity leave is not enough for such a woman. But it's fellow women who were insisting that their name should be removed from payrolls. You see, it is the same woman, after getting PhD, who decided that she will not pay the electricity bill. She said she will not even pay water bill. She said she will not pay school fees. That is a man's duty.
You are talking about a particular case.
No. It's broad issues.
Generally, women say they will not.
Women,
I think
you do on the average.
It's not research based.
An average. Which one do you look for? Which one do you look for? No. Allow me. You see, yes, women take charge when they become single. It is when they keep abusing men until they themselves back out. Then they know the reality of the situation. So women should leave men out of their problems. Problem of women are created by
Okay, thank you. But this will be the last comment, then we'll close this section. Probably a lot of people just came straight from work. Maybe we need to organize this. I was trying to tell Doc 4 o'clock was not a good time, but at least now he agreed with me. So next time we can make it maybe 12 midday. So we take the half of the day. Yeah, I know it's getting late. Some people don't like to travel late like me. Some of us can sleep from 6 p.m., 7 p.m. we're going to bed already. But thank you for being here. Actually, what Dr. Capo was saying, there is a research attached to that. That's the Old Boys Club. The Old Boys Club, when the Old Boys Club is operating an organization, they protect the members and don't allow anybody to come in. When the women at top managerial level sit on top, they do not allow another woman to go up. Period. That's our research. So you can take that home for your thoughts. Having said all that we have said, going back to the topic, at least now you understand that the university has taken the move. Captain Georgina, I know you already gave her one scholarship. We'll make use of that. Dr. Della, please, you can see Captain Georgina. We want to make sure that we can bring or carry a lot of women along. If the university can launch scholarship specifically for women and other programs, so you know we're in the women's promotion activities. So I know you won't question that. So we just want to continue to appeal to all of you, all of the members here present as much as possible, so that we can support women in the endeavor. The student there made a comment. Let me tell you, how Captain Georgina telling you that once you get on ship, that's a lot of money. Your salary is good. And she's not joking. The salaries are good. So therefore, to get the book in your head and to go on ship, you got to pay for the lecturer in the classroom. It's not cheap. People need to understand that. Maritime training is expensive. Even the tools you use to train you is expensive. In that public school fee where you pay 1,000, 2,000 Ghana cedis. So we got to understand that. When maritime training is expensive. Maybe that's the reason why we can't get the number of students we wish to get. But with collective support, we can do the best we can. Thank you for that scholarship again. I thought my people contacted you for it. We'll look there. But we will appreciate if anybody can do anything in that line. All the women organization, for us, you don't have to give all the money. Just say, look, as she said, just do the vetting process and then tell me that you have this student, let me know, and pay the fees. You don't have to give it to us, no way. But I want to say thanks for all of you coming. Dr. Gima? Yeah, you can take off from here so we can go. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause for the panelists.
Who am I to refuse the directive of my chief executive officer? I'm just a servant, so he says, so we all do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the discourse between the men and the women, though as Captain Georgina said, he had deviated from the topic, not maritime, but basically men and women issue. Put your hand together for the panelists and the moderator. I can see some of the women are not very happy. No, don't mind these men. Don't mind them. Oh, is that because of Chikunu and Dr. Akapu? Don't worry. You get my support. The only thing we are doing and pleading with you, organization, sponsor more girls to come to RMU. That's all. And you will see they will rise up. No matter what Akapu say, what Chikunu say, they will come. She said we should make noise for the sector. We are making noise. What have you had for the sector? Give her just 2 scholarships, female. That's all. And they will come. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get into other aspects of today's occasion. Our people in Africa say, give flower to those to whom is due when they are alive, and now when they are no more. So we wish today to give the flower to those to whom it is due while they are yet with us. I would like to, at this stage, call on Mr. Selina Hassan Jima to present our citation for those to be honored.
Thank you very much. interesting discussion. And from the keynote speaker, she mentioned that recognition is very key when it comes to the maritime industry. And that is because when others see what other women have done, it gives them that encouragement to also pursue same. It's time for recognition, and the university is giving these citations to some outstanding women. I know there are a lot of them, but we will start with these. Captain Georgina Jopa has over 40 years of experience in the maritime industry in the areas of management, consultancy, academia, international service, among others. During these 40 years, you have the experience. During these 40 years of experience in the maritime industry, you have on the record as part of the pioneering African women at sea. You became the first African woman to qualify as Master Mariner, Captain of Merchant Navy ship. You were a deck officer on Black Star Line ocean-going vessels for 14 years. You were a senior lecturer of the Regional Maritime University, your alma mater, for 9 years, mentoring and encouraging hundreds of students at every stage in their careers to reach their highest potential. You were an expert and training advisor to the Bangladesh government on seafarers training and employment for 2 years. You were the regional coordinator for West and Central Africa for the International Maritime Organization for 6 years. Project director for the United Nations Development Program for support to the promotion of employment in the maritime industry for 6 years. You are, Madam, an astute consultant on maritime safety and security. With all these achievements of yours, the younger generation definitely will look up to you as a role model. Indeed, the Regional Maritime University is fortunate in getting such a distinguished alumnus as Captain Jopa. Captain, we are proud of you, and we want to invite you over in recognition to your invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the maritime industry. Captain Jopa, let's please welcome him.
So please we call on the acting Vice Chancellor who will be giving all the presentation.
The captain done remarkably well on teaching her services, all that you have heard. But for me, she's still doing the best she can. She also spoke at our fundraising program in July. She's giving us one full scholarship of a female, and so I don't think that we can ask her to run her down. But I'm sure when we do need another one, we'll come back there, she'll be willing to give us. Thank you very much.
Maybe you want to say something, you are welcome. Or you are so overwhelmed that the men have weakened your potential in their argument.
You know what? My mom's always said, a lady should earn and own her place. And in their car language, they will say, Besi Amodo and Nakasa Nutoma Wanasa. And that is what the maritime industry has done for me. I earned and owned my pace, and therefore I was able to reach where I want to reach. When women are in position, to be frank, so many other people have helped us to come to that point. Just like our teacher, they helped us to come to at this point. Our family members helped us to come to this point. Our friends helped us to come to this point. We mentioned that you need a mentor in the ship and on the ship. You always need, and any job that you do, you need somebody to mentor you. And it can come from your own mate, your classmates, where they can see the good in you and say that you can do it. It can come from your uncles, your cousins, your friends, and they can say, your neighbor, and can see the good in you and say that you can do it. So I've always said, and there's enough for everybody. There is enough for everybody on this end. So please, let's be able to share and be able to enjoy what we have, because there's enough for everybody. And I know that there are so many young ladies here, and that I promise you, just don't do too much, just a little effort, and you can be far better than me. Just think of yourself that you want to do it for yourself. I always tell people, even God is only 10% of all that you have. The rest is for you. Whatever you earn in life, 90% of it is for you. All the struggles you put in it, you don't do it for anybody. That's why, not even for your children. It's for you. So please, especially the young ladies, I don't want people to say, no, these days the young lady and the young people are lazy. You are not. The maritime young ladies, especially who are here, are not lazy, because it's a tough job. And for you to have even made the decision that you want to be in the maritime industry, you are a champion already. May the Lord continue to bless all of you so that you excel more than I have ever done. Then I will know that I have succeeded, because when generations after you do better than you have done, then you are a success. For us, that is important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain. Sure. Captain Georgina says we are champions already, and I'm going with that. We are going on to our next, Miss Janet Alman Adi. As an administrator with over 23 years of experience at the Ghana Maritime Authority, you have made a mark in the annals of the maritime industry, and in particular in the area of standards of training, certification, and watchkeeping, STCW for seafarers. By dint of hard work and commitment, you rose through the ranks as Assistant Shipping Superintendent at the then Shipping and Navigation Division of the Ministry of Transport to your current position as Director of Administration at the Ghana Maritime Authority. This is by no means a small achievement. The role you played as the Head of Training, Examinations and Certification Unit of the Ghana Maritime Authority cannot go unnoticed. This position afforded you the opportunity to constantly interact with seafarers, and the dexterity with which you executed your work endeared you to everyone who met you. In recognition to your invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the maritime industry, the Regional Maritime University would like to present to you the citation. Madam Auman Adi.
Selena said one thing, those who met you interacted with you. And I'm a living witness. The first time I think I interacted with her a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And every time I did see her, I'll be satisfied because I've always got a nice smile. And that kept my day going. So thank you. As far as I know, you deserve this gift. And that's why we are recognizing you as a lady.
Thank you very much, Madam Janet Almanadi. Now to Mrs. Esther Jebidonko. You are on record as the first female terminal manager in the history of the ports of Ghana. The role you played during with the Port of Tema was adjudged the best managed port in the West and Central Africa at the African Ports Award ceremony. The efficiency with which you executed your role in this capacity resulted in assigning you with an advanced role during the period of integrating and coordinating the various activities of the 3 terminals, namely Golden Jubilee Terminal, GPHA Reefer, and GPHA Transit Terminal between January 2015 to May 2017. Based on the successes achieved at the terminals, the board of GPHA promoted you to the rank of General Manager in charge of Marketing and Corporate Affairs in June 2017. Your commitment to duty and preparedness to accept additional responsibility culminated in your appointment as a member of the National Committee for Port Paperless Implementation. You were able to lead the then team tasked by the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana to implement the paperless regime within 2 months, a feat which earned you the title Madam Paperless. As General Manager also in charge of media, your leadership roles in other areas cannot be glossed over. You were a member of the board of the Ghana Maritime Authority from 2015 to 2019 and currently a board member of the Ghana Shippers Authority. You are a member of the National Trade Facilitation Committee, a member of the Trading Across Borders Working Group, a member of the National Gender Trade Subcommittee. You are the Vice Chairman of the Executive Board of Borderless Alliance, President of the Network for Professional Women in Maritime and Port Sector of West and Central Africa from 2013 to 2017, and was a Vice President of that same network from 2010 to 2012. Currently, you are an advisor of the network, a founding member of Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA, and held the position of Public Relations Officer from June 2009 to February 2017. You were also the President of the Port Ladies Association, GPHA, for 7 years and currently a trustee. During your tenure, you encourage most of the members to further their education to prepare them to take roles in the maritime space. In recognition of your invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the maritime industry, the Regional Maritime University would like to recognize you, Mrs. Esther Jebidon.
Like I'm getting afraid. So all these women with the different titles from 2009, 2010 coming to this point. But let me say congratulations. And from all I'm hearing, you deserve it. And we hope and appreciate that you will look back so that as you fade off, all of us can take your place. Thank you.
Mrs. J.B. Donko. So the recognition continues. This is to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Gertrude Achua Ohene Esieni, FICS. You are the Executive Director of Whitestone Shipbrokers and West Africa School of Shipping. You are a chartered shipbroker, a lecturer, manufacturing consultant with over 20 years combined experience in shipping, oil and gas, and academia. You have worked on complex oil and gas projects in seismic acquisition, FPSO operations and management, maritime labor and procurement, and shipbroking, having served previously as country manager for PGS Ghana, Yinsen Gazania operations, OMA labor and procurement solutions, and offshore shipbrokers. Madam Gertrude, you have been presenting cutting-edge papers at conferences, and you are a maritime tutor and trainer in international trade transactions, maritime insurance, and maritime law. You are currently the Global Membership Committee Chairperson, a member of the Controlling and Executive Councils, as assessor and assistant examiner of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, London. You are on record as the first female from West Africa to obtain fellowship from ICS, and hence the first female chartered shipbroker in West Africa, and the first from West Africa to head the Global Membership Committee and on the Executive Council. You are a part-time lecturer at the Regional Maritime University, Accra, Ghana, and an alumnus of the first batch of postgraduate diploma students and pioneers of the Ports Administration. You were adjudged the best student. You are a member of the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, Global Customs and Trade Facilitation Commission, a member of Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA, International Diversity Committee, and President of WISTA Ghana. You have had an outstanding performance and work ethics as a lecturer in the maritime program and courses at the RMU. Madam, in recognition of your invaluable contribution to the development of progress in the maritime industry, we'd like to invite you to take this citation.
We call on the Provost to make this presentation to our keynote speaker. The Provost.
Congratulations, you deserve it.
thank you to Ms. Benonita Bismarck in recognition of your outstanding performance, dedication, and positive attitude as the Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Shippers Authority. For the past 6 years, you have transformed the authority through innovative strategies and products that have positioned the authority as one of the best in the sub-region. Your leadership has seen improvement in sharing with shippers and other operators in the logistics chain through regular and timely publications of the authority's journals, such as Shipping Review, the Admiral, a Compendium, and Maritime Trade and Transport Digest. These publications have resulted in a cordial relationship between the shippers and the authority. Your support to Western Ghana and your resolve to empower women to assume key positions in the shipping and logistics industry is highly commendable. You have demonstrated your commitment in empowering females to pursue maritime education and training by instituting a scholarship scheme for female cadet students of the Regional Maritime University pursuing seagoing programs, a venture which has started yielding the expected results. As the first batch of beneficiaries, 2 female marine engineering cadets completed their program of study in 2022 and are currently undertaking their cadetship training on board Benashute vessels. There are other awards you have received, such as Outstanding Woman CEO of the Year, Responsible Government Regulator of the Year 2021, and many more. In recognition of your invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the maritime industry, the RME presents to you Ms. Benonita Bismarck this citation.
Unfortunately, she herself is not here, but the citation will be received by one of her staff. Madam.
Mrs. Bixman would love to be here. We chatted last week at the airport concerning this. This morning she called me and said, "Oh, sorry, I can't make my meetings in the evening, my board meeting." So I do appreciate it. But please convey to her our appreciation for the female scholarships that she's been offering. And just remind her that, as I said in the meeting the last time, please increase the numbers. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Final one we have here, but definitely not the least, Mrs. Anita Swetu Kontu is a distinguished logistics professional known for your instrumental role in ensuring the seamless and efficient movement of goods on global scale. With a career spanning over a decade in the field, you have emerged as a trailblazing figure, demonstrating exceptional expertise and commitment to facilitating international trade and shipping operations. You embarked on your career as a freight forwarder in 2011, and since then, you have navigated the complex world of logistics with unwavering dedication. As the Chief Executive Officer of Ascraft International Company and 4 other major international companies, your visionary leadership has led to remarkable achievements in the industry. Under your guidance, these enterprises have become synonymous with excellence in logistics, employing a team of 35 permanent workforce and over 70 casual workers. Your astute management skills have not only fostered growth, but also set new industry standards. Your profound knowledge of export and import of processes makes you a consultant for matters relating to exports, multimodal transportation, and customs documentation in Ghana. Your insight into the intricate details of global logistics has proved invaluable to businesses engaged in international trade, offering them strategic advantages and ensuring compliance with international regulations. Madam Anita, you are also a passionate advocate for gender equality, challenging stereotypes and tirelessly working towards the rights and empowerment of all genders. Your commitments to these causes extend beyond your career, reflecting a deep-seated belief in creating equity and inclusiveness. In recognition of your invaluable contribution to the development and progress of the maritime industry, the university would like to present to you Mrs. Anita Swatio Hontu, the citation.
Let me put it this way. Not everybody can make a lot of noise, but everybody and somebody can do many, many things. Let me just break one of the eggs. She is providing to the Regional Maritime University 50 congregational gowns, 25 masters, 25 doctoral. Currently under production, and there is something else coming. I won't talk about it. But for these and many more, we submit to you this citation. Please extend to your husband also our hospitality and appreciation of all that you people have been doing. Why are you saying, oh? I will have to call the man name because the man is there. Okay. You see, I'm advocating for you, my brother. So congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given, RMU has given its flowers to those to whom it is due while they are staying yet with us. If you think the choice of the people was good, and indeed it is good, can they join me in giving a very big welcome and a big clap? Thank you, thank you. Just a quick announcement. Female students can they remain after this occasion. Western Ghana will let you have a meeting with you. Another announcement, the Alumni Association of Regional Maritime University 5th Congress is scheduled for the 14th of October 2023 right here in this auditorium. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, traditionally, when you visit a home, at least we must give you water to drink. We have given you water as you enter, and as you leave, we also have additional water out there for you. Can you enjoy yourself with our water? And we say, Aiko. We will now call on the provost to give us a vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Board of Governors of the Regional Maritime University, on behalf of acting VC and my colleague management members that could not be present here today, staff, students, and our sister colleagues in the maritime industry, we want to appreciate and thank you for making it this evening. I just want to also share with you that one of the co-panelists was my classmate. In 2003, that was 20 years ago, we all enrolled here, and I believe that we treated her so well the time we were on campus. So this is a young family, a great family, and at the time my colleague co-panelist was here, we used to call her Miss RMU. And 20 years from now, she's still shining. I'm also a senior lecturer here, and I keep encouraging our colleagues, our students, our female students to keep working hard. One of the great experience I'll share with you at NVC is a female cadet that returned on board the ship recently after spending 3 years with us. She spent about 4 hours in my office sharing an experience that she went through on board the ship. And I was so happy to see that I was mentoring a young lady like this, and she had so much to share. And she said, Provost, when I go back to sea, I'm going to earn nothing less than $6,000. So this is the maritime industry we find ourselves. We've shared a lot today. Emotions have been high. We know that the future of this industry is bright. And for the new students joining us with your white and black tie this evening, shoot your roots so that tomorrow you'll be a proud alumni of this university. Thank you for being present, and I wish you all a good evening, safe journey for those traveling far, and those on the motorway, please drive safely. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's program. We look forward to hearing from you again when we should have another event of this nature. Thank you very much. Au revoir. Okay, all the honorees, please, you are kindly asked to remain just right here for a quick photo with the acting Vice Chancellor. All honorees, you and your citation, please, a photo with the acting Vice Chancellor. Deans, you are kindly asked to join. The provost, you are asked to join.